Eileen. First of all, let's do an intro. I'm Julie Bailis from Mountain View Wellness. Today, we are speaking with Eileen Denny of Denny Chiropractic and Acupuncture. And today, Eileen's going to talk to us about sitting, because I know a lot of us are sitting a lot more than we were back in the day, and a lot of us are sitting at it's not an ideal situation. And as a yoga teacher, I teach a lot about posture. As a reflexologist, I talk about posture. But Eileen, when I spoke to you, in preparation for this, I love the way you summarized how sitting is bad for us, how it's really not good for our health. So could you kind of walk us through that? Because we all know that sitting is bad. We feel pain when we sit too much. We feel fatigue when we sit too much. Could you explain to us why that is? And yeah, let's start there.
So I think we've all heard that sitting's the new smoking, and we all know the dangers of smoking. And the dangers of sitting are really the same, because when we sit, maybe you start out with the best posture, but then the spreadsheet gets to you, or you're just kind of getting comfy and you're leaning back, or not everybody is equipped with a home office. So many people, it's their dining room table, it's their bed, it's some recliner they put. So now they're sitting in ergonomically poorly designed chairs to suit the purpose that they're using them for. And when you do that, if you're sitting up, you're giving your diaphragm room. The lungs can expand. But as we fatigue or we just get tired, we start to slouch. What are we doing? Our lungs are getting more restricted. The diaphragm's getting restricted. We're not taking deeper breaths. So we're not oxygenating enough. And in the process, if we do this routinely day in and day out, it becomes a habit. Our muscles are we're getting muscle wasting. We're getting some muscles that are getting spasmed. We're getting muscular imbalances. In addition to the visual strain by looking at screens all day. As we sit, a lot of people, it's like, oh man, I hate doing this work anyways at home. Let me get the snacks next to me. Let me get everything. So I have to get up the least I possibly can. Well, when you drive a car, for how long do they tell you stop every 2 hours? Because you shouldn't sit that long. It increased blood clot risks. You have all these other issues that get increased. But when we're home, we don't equate it to the same thing. It's like, oh, we're just home. So we stop. So at the end of however many hours you've been sitting, you wake up. You haven't been perfusing blood as well. Your oxygen to the brain isn't getting, you're not getting enough oxygenated blood to the brain. Now, I'm not talking like, oh my gosh, you're going to die right now, but these are little changes in your health that you're going to notice the fatigue. You're going to notice the soreness. You're going to have pain. You're going to have mood changes. You put yourself long-term at risk for metabolic changes, increased diabetes, cardiovascular issues, because we're meant to move. We're moving creatures. We're not meant to sit in front of a screen all day and do nothing. And it also, motion impacts our brain. It impacts the prefrontal cortex. It helps with memory. So now these kids that aren't doing so well at distance learning, probably because they're not getting up and passing. My kids go to sound school. They're out in fresh air in between classes. They're losing that. So when you put them in front of a screen, they're not getting the motion to help stimulate the memory in the brain.
Now, what are some tricks that you think people could use to get moving, to get that oxygen going, to improve their posture? I mean, you have, I'm sure, a lot to share in that realm, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what to do. I know it's bad, but I don't know what to do. And
so no snacks at your desk or your table or anything else. Make yourself get up. Set a timer. And like I said, in the car, they usually say around 2 hours, make sure you do a stop. At home, I do an hour and a half, because at least if you're driving, scenery can change. At home, not much is going to change. So to keep your brain functioning, at least every hour and a half, get up, walk a lap around your house inside, go up and down the stairs if you have stairs, do a plank. Nobody's dressed in business suits at home these days. And if you're on conference calls, maybe take the call and go outside, get fresh air. If it's just a phone call, drink water, have a water bottle next to you. You do that enough, you have a built-in break because you can't keep drinking water without having to go to the bathroom.
I
So
love that idea.
if you just come up with simple ideas that initially might be, oh, it's such a pain to get up. But when you start incorporating that more, the end of your day will be much more enjoyable and productive. And your work day will be too, because you'll be able to focus. Your memory will be better. Your mood will be better. You'll be producing happy hormones, the endorphins and keflons. You're going to be combating all the cortisol that everybody's under now with the stress of what life has brought us this year. And
Right.
cortisol increases inflammation. And if you're sitting long periods, you're getting more inflamed. Inflammation is really what the biggest killer of all people is. Everything stems from inflammation. So everything, if we just start making a little change by getting up and moving, we're benefiting our overall health in the grand spectrum of things.
Mhm. Mhm. So really, the main takeaway is really just get moving, but how do you do it, right? So
Right.
I like the snacks away. That's great because then you have to get off your butt to
Yeah.
go to the fridge, right?
Yeah.
And I love the water idea because you're forcing yourself to get up because you gotta go to the bathroom. Um, so you're
Even
thinking
a
an
timer,
hour and a half.
put it across the room.
Oh yeah.
Like, no one's going to sit there listening to an annoying timer
Mhm.
buzzing. They're going to
Mhm.
get up and shut it off. So
Yeah.
keep everything that you want or will need at a distance.
Mhm. Yeah, that reminds me of people that park far away,
Yeah.
right? They're going to get their steps in
Yeah.
because they've parked so far away and taking the stairs. Man, I've annoyed my children by never taking an elevator. Man.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you have to say, Eileen, about ergonomic stuff? About like what are some tips people can use to make their workspace more ergonomic for them? Even down to like where the computer sits. Any tricks?
A lot of times when people come in my office, I can tell which side of, if they're right or left-handed and how often they're using their mouse, because you definitely see posterior rib humping on the back when they lay down.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you really want to keep your elbows, at level. You want to keep your screen at your eye level so you could see it. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want this, you don't want twisting. You want to keep everything within your field of gaze, and you want a good lumbar support. And some of that you have to start with yourself. I've been recommending, you can have the best ergonomic design, but if you have no core strength, your lumbar support sitting is done. So
Right.
maybe when you take that break, it's time to do a plank.
Mm-hmm.
Do something.
Mm-hmm.
When you're sitting there, bring your belly button to your spine and
Mm-hmm.
hold. Sounds so
Mm-hmm.
simple till you try it,
Right.
especially if you've had children. And it becomes even greater challenge if you've had C-sections. You're like, I know I've got a belly button. I know I have a spine. Come on, girl, get it back. But if you do things like that, I think it's really going to help. Get a lumbar support if you need something to compensate. If you know you're going to be home for the long run, maybe it's Christmas. Get an ergonomically designed chair. Move it out, your dining room chair away, put that chair in. Maybe get a standing desk, one that elevates and lowers so you could go from sitting to standing and change it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, but keep it at eye level. Keep things where you're not going to be tempted to keep rotating all day like this, because your body's going to compensate. And the compensation will let you get it done until all of a sudden you're about to pull out, something for New Year's Eve, and there goes your back, there goes the injury.
Yeah. Yeah. Because of all that muscular imbalance.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. So elbows level, chin level. So you're looking straight at like I'm looking straight at my phone. Oh, it's a dream. My studio is a dream. It looks all clear, but but my iPhone is level, so I've got that going for me. And when you say lumbar support and what do you mean by that? I mean, I know what you mean by that.
They have lumbar support pillows. If you can't find one, you could roll a towel and put it behind,
Mm-hmm.
and the curve in your low back, just to
Mm-hmm.
maintain the curves. Our body is designed
Yeah.
perfectly. We screw it up. We have a curve
Yep.
in our neck,
Mm-hmm.
a curve in our mid
Mhm.
back, and a curve in our lower back. And all of those
Mhm.
are for weight distribution.
Mhm.
And kind of going back to the dangers of not moving, our discs, they don't have blood supply. They get their nutrients by motion. So the more
Mhm.
compressive forces by walking, that's feeding the discs. We want nice,
Mhm.
fluffy, hydrated discs. This way they stay where
Mhm.
they belong. Um, so you really want to maintain all the curves in your neck. Again, with the ergonomics of the computer, you don't want to do this. When your posture in your neck is off, it decreases your oxygen intake up to about 30% if you're forward neck tilt. So all these
Mhm.
people that suddenly started snoring
Yeah,
during
that.
COVID, yeah,
Mhm.
take a look. Their ears are probably here ahead of their shoulders. So those
Mhm.
newfound snorers, it's usually going to be a posture issue. Um,
Mhm.
and you want to make they call it like the banana in the neck and the low back, and you want to make sure
Mhm.
those are maintained because
Right.
weight distribution, that helps nerve impulses to the brain, and it helps you not get injured.
Yeah, I love that you talk about the natural curves of the spine. That's something I talk about a lot in my online courses, in my yoga teaching. And when people say sit up straight, I'm like, don't sit up straight. Your spine should
No,
not be straight. You've got those natural, lovely curves. And if one curve usually goes off, let's say it usually starts at the lumbar because the core collapses, there we go. Everything
follow.
follows it, right? And the spine's so magical that way. It's so impressive to see the spine work and compensate to keep us upright and balanced.
Yeah, and then you see their balance shift because the spine and your vertebrae are housing your entire nervous system. It's protecting the
Mm-hmm.
most important system in our body.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's going awry, what goes right with it? Your nervous system.
Right.
So now you're going to have other issues. GI function might be off. You're not sleeping well. You're cranky. So
Mm-hmm.
it all kind of stems from a good foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. Headaches. So many headaches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is either the phone, they're like this, the
Mm-hmm.
computer, I can't really see it. And they keep going closer.
The Zoom.
The Zoom, yeah.
Yeah. All right, great. Do you have anything to add, Eileen? This is wonderful. Or any comments? Caitlin, I know you're out there if you have any questions or comments for Dr. Denny. And just so you know, this will be recorded and put onto YouTube also. So anyone out there in YouTube land, you're watching it after it's been recorded. But it's been a nice way for me to get the word out about a lot of different wellness practitioners, about things that are relevant to us. I was thinking about a way to describe Wisdom Wednesdays, and I wrote there are weekly interviews with wellness practitioners, thought leaders, and just sassy people. Okay.
That's
And I
awesome.
think you're a wellness practitioner and you're sassy. So I'm sure you'll be on again talking about just we've had wonderful conversations about
Oh,
just living life, right? And cutting the fat and being, with people that inspire you and in ways we can do that. So I'm sure I'll probably see you in the new year, Eileen, because I would
that's awesome.
love to talk more about that. Um, about
I'd love
people
to get
living life.
for my office where we could do a combo of how we work hand in hand because you can't do yoga if you're musculoskeletal imbalanced. And if I'm correcting that and you're not doing yoga and stretching, well, if there's a marriage, you get the biggest bang and the most health benefits.
Totally. Totally. I totally agree with you on that. Um, let's see. Anything else? I think that's about it. So, get moving because it's good for your health. Um, these are some takeaways that I have. Improving your posture improves your whole nervous system and improves your circulation. Ways to get moving. Oh, wait a minute. We have a comment. What type of pillow would you recommend using in bed to avoid waking up with a cranky neck? Pillow suggestion.
That is so probably my biggest challenge in practice because everybody can be so different. Um, I do recommend one that's supportive, not one that's, oh my God, it's so fluffy. You need to be supported. One that honors the curves. Actually, I have one that I do like next to me, and just happened to have it. I was using it to show the kids something, and it has it
Oh,
where the
neat.
head goes, and it each
Mm-hmm.
side will support you. Here, this will support all the curves if you sleep on your side or your back. Um, but I also recommend stretching before you go to sleep. If you sleep 8 hours and you don't wake up, that's a long time to be in that one position. So you want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure before you go to bed, you just simply ear to shoulder, head circles, anything to get the neck loosened up from the day, especially if you are working home and you're on the computer and you're like this. Any pillow you get, you could get the best pillow, but if you're going to bed like this, you're going to wake up even worse. And make sure, my big thing is water. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Real water.
Mm-hmm.
Not tea, not coffee. I'm not saying don't have them. God forbid, don't take my coffee. But understand coffee is a diuretic, so you have to drink more. 8 to 10 glasses a day. That's going to help it, as well as finding the pillow that's supportive for you and the stretching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, for the I'm not a huge water drinker, especially if it's a day that I haven't worked out, because the working out makes me thirsty, so I'm just more likely to down a huge thing of water in the morning. But on a kind of a rest day, recovery day, I could go without drinking water. So what I started to do was get a big, beautiful, I have a big, beautiful blue pitcher that's in the window of my kitchen, and I fill it. And every time I go to do anything at the sink, there's the pitcher, and I'll grab some water. So I'll see it go down, and I'll know, hey, I've had that whole thing for the day. And I know I have a really good day if I have to refill
I
it,
think that's the best way. I mean, it's 2020. I think when we started, if we were here a year ago, we had the goals and everything we wanted to achieve, like this and grandiose. And obviously, we know where that happened. So I think now, some days my biggest success is I did finish my whole water bottle. It's gone. Yay
right?
me. Like, I mean, simple wins are what's going to get us through all of the insanity and keep us in the right headspace. So if we could do water to do that, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. To celebrate the simple tasks and the simple successes, because so many people really see the failures all the time and the negative
Right.
all the time
And
when
just
they're
because something you don't normally do doesn't mean it has to stay that way. And I'm not saying if you haven't drank water today, go out and drink a gallon. Have 3 glasses,
yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe tomorrow incorporate one in the middle of the day. Just build it up, and each day you're doing something positive for you. You're making a positive change.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we're hydrated, everything we're talking about also helps our immune system. What are we worried about? Our immune system. Let's take the steps to get ourselves the healthiest we possibly can.
Right, right. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Any other questions out there? Dr. Denny, what was the name of the pillow? And where can it be
I
bought?
order them at my office. It's a core product pillow. It's
Core product?
yeah, if you look up, Amazon may have them. Core pillows themselves have them. If you can't find them,
Mm-hmm.
just call my office. I get them in. Um, they're very, takes a while for some people to get used to them, but once you are, you don't wake up with it achy, cranky,
Mm-hmm.
miserable neck. It definitely does support you. In fact, I
Right.
brought one home just for the kids. That's why I have this around. Just, I bring it around if I go places to show people and they ask. And the kids, they want their own because they liked it. They shop at my office, I think. What they like there ends up at my house and not where it needs to be.
Now you are open now,
Yes, we've been open,
and
thankfully, the whole time.
oh, that's awesome. So where are you located, and how can people contact you?
So, right across from Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church in Village Green Condos on Whitney Avenue in Hampton,
Oh yeah.
2832
Mm-hmm.
Whitney. My website's www.dennyfamilywellness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm on Facebook at Denny Chiropractic and Acupuncture, or my phone number, 203-407-8468. People could schedule online, throw questions. I have the online messenger.
Great.
So,
And you're a little bit on Instagram, right?
yes, I am. I'm trying to understand Instagram. I don't fully get
Yeah. I'm learning, but I'm always learning.
And then the kids are like, you should do TikTok. I'm like, I don't really have great dance moves. I don't know how to do a TikTok. That would be a fun collaboration of the women you're pulling to do your Wednesdays with if we all made a TikTok.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if nothing, it would definitely be sassy and humorous.
It would be humorous. Yes. I've done TikTok a little bit just with like my rabbit. So if you know Kevin the rabbit, I don't even know what his name is like on TikTok. I don't know. It's just
My
talking about
son
it.
might, because he has we have the mini zoo, so he might.
Yeah. All right. I'll send you a little something. I'll figure it out. I'll Google that. But yeah, no,
And
I like to
here's
stick
another
with things I know
suggestion.
and
Yeah.
try to like master that, and then I can move on to something else. You know?
Oh God.
Yeah.
You
It
just made me
it does.
think. There's another suggestion to get you moving. Adopt a pet.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Adopt a
Am
pet.
I
The pet's going to need you to get up. The pet's going to need you to let them out, walk them, pet them, feed them, cuddle them. And if they're bratty like mine, they'll hit you until they do, or you do. So,
So many people are adopting pets right now.
yay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. Oh, and another thing I was thinking that I got one of these like Bobo like fitness
Yeah.
activity trackers. I am not like, and I don't like to be plugged in. I don't like my phone, but actually getting this has helped me get away from my phone because look,
Yeah.
it's a watch too. It's like old school. Now I want to know what time it is. That's my phone. Um, and then also I can look, at 12 o'clock, I'm like, oh my God, I only took like 300 steps. And my goal is 10,000. I better get out there and walk my dog. So I think, and you can get the Apple Watch, but you can also get one of these and just really, for me, a lot of it is about awareness, just being
Yeah.
aware of how much you haven't moved so you can move. Or else by the time 5 o'clock rolls around, you've realized you've done nothing. But if you don't have a watch, you don't realize. You're like, I feel like I've done nothing. Well, here's
Yeah.
the proof. You've moved 5 steps.
Well, your brain moved all day and it seems harder because you're not moving. So your brain's working. So by the end, you're like, I've done so much. I've walked, I've done this. And you're like, whoa,
Yes.
wow. Okay.
Right. I've been so many places in my head.
Exactly. Oh,
Well,
yes.
this is right. So many places in my head. But my body hasn't moved a bit.
A bit.
All
Oh, yeah.
right. So this is great. So thank you so much for doing this. This is our second
Oh,
Wisdom
oh,
Wednesday. If you have any ideas, we're definitely going to talk some more about some upcoming Wisdom Wednesdays because more people will be watching them and more people want to, get connected to a community that feels empowered. So,
yeah.
uh,
Awesome. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
All right. And I'll send this to you once it's up. It should be up instantly. On Facebook, and then I'll put it on YouTube and blast it out there. So definitely more people watch it after it's recorded. So I'm excited to be working with you on this.
Yes, absolutely. I look forward to talking to you soon and have a great holiday weekend, everything coming up.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.